This video is sponsored by no one. I just said that to sound legit. Alright, let me paint you a picture. It's a rainy day, and those little raindrops are making those pitter-patter sounds in your window. You can't go out, but you still want to do something. Something that matches the vibe, the aesthetic of your current situation right now. You want to feel warm inside. It is too cozy a day, and so you turn on your TV to help you out with that. Got your warm blanket on you, some hot chocolate in hand, and but then you spend the next, like 30 minutes scrolling through whatever streaming service you're using, and you give up. But look no further. I am here to help. I've compiled a list of 7 films that I personally feel will help you with your sweater weather. And I do want to preface this by saying these are subjective and based off my own experience. These films are recommendations. They may not work for everyone. So if you disagree, then I guess it's a skill issue. Nevertheless, here are 7 films that feel like a warm hug. Okay, I might be biased because this is a personal favorite of mine, but trust me. So the film follows 2 strangers who meet in their respective trips to Japan. You got your boy Bill Murray and the lovely Scarlett Johansson, and both their characters form this really comforting companionship throughout. This relationship is the core of the film, with each of them representing an isolation and loneliness that is so moving and familiar. These 2 are out of their element in a completely different country, and because of that, it's where these 2 are able to connect and be vulnerable with each other. The film creates the space these characters need to let us hear out their aspirations and their needs. It's in that hook that we get invested and we feel like we're as much a part of their singular journeys as they are. And that 35mm look at it. The atmosphere of Lost in Translation is unmatched, and that's all thanks to director Sofia Coppola and cinematographer Lance Accord. If you don't fall in love with the film itself, you gotta at least bask in those visuals, because oh my god, look at those blues, look at those hues. I used to call this Lost in Translation's spiritual sibling back then, but then years later I found out that Sofia Coppola was actually married to Spike Jonze, who's the director of Her, and it all made sense. These 2 are so identical, from the themes to right down to the production designer even. So to have these 2 as a double feature is so surreal, given Her is essentially a love letter to another filmmaker. It's a celebration of human relationships too, and the meaningful ones that stand out among them. And Joaquin Phoenix can give a performance that can go from utterly sincere to uncomfortable, but like in a good way, unlike...
You seeing anybody? Does make me very sad.
I also love how this film portrays the future. It's not desolate or dystopian, it's warm and inviting and flat out gorgeous. It's an optimistic future, which is really, really refreshing. I think that this film says so much about our own perceptions of relationships and where this film chooses to go in portraying them. It's a slow and nuanced exploration of it, and that just helps you really take it all in by the time the credits roll. Alpha Media has a great video on this film with the subtitle "For Those Who Feel Lost," and I think this is the perfect way to describe this film. If you've ever wanted to relate to characters who feel stuck or absent from their own lives, this is the one. Kogonada's Columbus was essentially my gateway to slow cinema, and if you're not into that, I recommend you start with this one. While the previous 2 films I mentioned have their heavy share of conversations and dialogue, this is the one where I really feel like you move with the time. There are conversations about passion and thinking about the future and losing loved ones. You're kind of wrapped up in the heaviness of these topics like a weighted blanket, and that's all thanks to Haley Lou Richardson and John Cho, who kill it in this. It's not even exactly a romance, but just 2 people who find solace and comfort in one another. I'm now just starting to get the pattern with these films. With how much romance sort of dominated the media and the expectations set by it, this was a breath of fresh air. The characters are controlled, and you really feel like the performances really take up a life of their own. It's a film that ruminates, and so will you long after the film is done. Patterson might not have a plot at first glance. You're literally just following Adam Driver's day-to-day as a driver, funny enough. But it's in the mundane where you kind of get invested in it. You want to see what new quirky characters come on the bus the next day, what Patterson's friends are going to complain about the next day, or what Patterson's wife is going to do to seize her day. You're reminded of the little things, and that's what I think makes this film just feel so soulful. Highly recommended. If Her has the chillest vision of the future in a movie, About Time probably has the most quaint and gentle take on time travel ever. You got your boy Dom Null.
I actually don't know how to pronounce this. Please welcome Donald Gleason.
Sure, so he finds out from his papa, Bill Nye, that the men in his family come from a line of time travelers, which is pretty damn sweet because you hear that and you immediately go, man, I wish I could do that. And this film covers a lot of bases because of that concept. The pursuit of romance, the pursuit of stability, the pursuit of happiness. Not that one.
Will you marry me?
Keep my wife's name out your
With so much happening in this, you might call it a bit messy, but with how genuinely it's able to sort through these occurrences in a single man's life, it comes across as more charming and moving. I mean, you can call it cheesy, but I guarantee you're still gonna love it for that exact reason. Also, I just checked the letterbox for this film, and this is the most popular review, I swear I started writing this before I saw this. When you think of something sweet, you might think of, candy. Or maybe that one person that makes your heart flutter a little bit. Me? I think of Marcel the Shell. I mean, hell, I even have this little fella on my desk. That's how much I love this film. So the film is about, well, Marcel, who becomes an internet sensation through short films. He then uses this fame to try and find his long-lost family. If you don't know, Marcel the Shell is based on a series of stop-motion shorts that were actually uploaded onto YouTube years back. The shorts became a hit, and eventually we got this film, thanks to A24. It sort of serves as this meta prequel and sequel at the same time to those shorts, which kind of gives them an in-universe reason for existing, which is really, really neat and something I don't think I've ever seen, ever. And I think that makes the film all the more authentic. It tackles that aspect of Marcel's virality and social media in a way that makes you think about the way we see internet celebrities. This gives the film this hint of melancholy, which kind of breaks your heart to see in a film about a cute little shell just trying to reunite with his loved ones. But that sadness is also countered with Marcel's naivete and unique outlook on the world, which makes it very funny.
Is this an inhaler?
It's like a slide or something. Like, I don't even actually know it.
The fact that director Dean Fleischer Camp was able to make something so feel-good and heartwarming out of a series of shorts he made back then just speaks to a level of authenticity in the things he just wanted to say about his own work. It's a great watch, and one of A24's best. Jesus Christ, I need a drink. How do people do this, dude? Alright, I'm gonna be real with y'all. This was the film that made me want to make this list. So The Holdovers follows a professor having to babysit a group of students who have nowhere to go for the holidays. So technically this is a Christmas movie, but you can really just watch it at whatever time of the year and it'll probably just hit you the same. This was a film doing late 80s to early 90s cosplay. From the transitions to its out of place yet endearing fourth wall break, it's very Dead Poet Society coded. But because of that, it's a nice homage to that style of filmmaking and one that really makes you kind of miss it. You just nestle into it as you watch these characters learn to be around each other and then eventually embrace each other in their presence. The character development of Paul Dunham in particular, also played by Paul, is one of my favorites in recent memory. He made for some really funny moments, but also some really heartbreaking ones that really tie it all together to make it one of the most heartwarming films you will ever see. This film is a reminder that people deserve to be loved, and that's why it's on this list. And that's it. Those are 7 films that I think feel like a warm hug. I've actually got more of these lined up, but I didn't want to make it too long, so if you want a part 2, do let me know in the comments. This is my first time making any sort of video like this, and it's different from the other stuff I've put on this channel, so I'd really appreciate the support on this one because I'd love to do more stuff like this. But anyway, that's all from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully sleep early and stay hydrated.